This is a video that I have wanted to make for the last couple days, but I've been like stuck in this I'm not really feeling too optimistic. I'm like not feeling optimistic enough to do it. And I had a thought as I was sitting there, just like there, like 20 minutes ago, a little bit sad. And I thought, so what? I saw a video by the ever lovely Hank Green. It was specifically about climate change, but it had to do with feeling hope and embodying hope despite a lot of things being terrible. I'll link the video below if you want to see it. This kind of functions as a response, but also kind of an elaboration in my own personal way. Like I said, I haven't been feeling too optimistic lately, or hopeful, right? And so like in many ways I'm like, oh, this video would be a lie. I've thought about it a little bit, and I think times like right now, honestly, might be the best time to talk about this stuff. People who are intent on making a lot of money off of our attention spans figured out a long time ago that the stronger we feel about things, the more engaged with things we're going to be. Anger, negativity, fear, hatred, outrage, all of that is really easy to elicit in other people. Good news, positivity generally doesn't sell. And that's something that it makes me metaphysically sad, but it's also true. Something about us is hardwired almost to be looking out for the danger, to be looking out for the thing that can hurt us, the thing that can take everything away from us. And I think that goes back to our days as hunter-gatherers 10,000 years ago or so. Right now we have the ability to access and create more information than we ever have before. And I think more information than, to be honest, our brains were ever really designed or evolved to really take in. What am I saying when I'm saying this? I think simply what I'm saying is that there is a lot out there to be upset about. Absolutely. Before I get into the hope, I think, I do think it's important to acknowledge that there's a lot of ugly out there. And I think through that, it's important that we realize that it's not all ugly. Right? There's a lot that's been fed to us, and there is that bad, and it is real out there, but it's not everything. When Hank, in his video, talked about hope in the face of climate change, I left that video in tears because I realized that is something that is really easy to forget to do. In a lot of ways, we have to choose hope in this world, and it's not an easy choice. It's not an easy choice at all. It's exhausting. It takes a lot of work, and it takes, a lot of self-control to do. I want to be that person, right? I've always wanted to be that person, but I want to be that person. I want to create the space where people can feel at least a little bit okay about something. And even if they don't feel okay about it, feeling a little less alone about something, and that's a positive. I personally believe that we solve a lot of the big problems that we face, whether they're inside of ourselves or whether they're outside of ourselves, if we simply listen and we simply have hope. The way that this year has gone for me, I feel like I've come out of it with almost this as I talk about it, I get sad about it, this belief that the way that I walk through this world is weak. That's what I believe. That's not what I want to believe. It's also not what I know, but it's how I've been behaving. I'm incapable of not having emotional reactions to things. It's just not something I'm capable of. That's not to say that I'm better than anyone. That's not to say that how other people process stuff is inherently wrong. I react to things emotionally first. That is how I go about this world. And something sad happened where I somehow internalized the idea that I am therefore weak because of that. Let me just set the record straight for a moment. I am not weak for that. In fact, I am strong for that. My personal hope starts with my ability to care about people. Not just my ability, but my innate nature to care about people and things and stuff that happens to me. My hope starts there. My hope starts with a knowledge of self, that this is who I am and this is what I bring to the table. What I have always set out to do, who I have always been, has been someone who just wants to connect with other people and make them feel a little less alone. That is what I do. And it starts small It starts on an individual level. It starts on a day-to-day level. It's an active process where I just simply try and make every part of my life a little bit brighter as I walk through it. That's what I do. I don't ignore when things are wrong. I don't sugarcoat the scary stuff in life. I wade through it proudly, strongly, and diligently. Despite all of the crappy noise that exists outside of myself, if I know myself and I know that I am strong as I am, I do not need to change things fundamentally to who I am. That's where my hope starts. Recently, in my videos, I've been feeling a vibe come back to them. And it's a vibe that, to be honest, saved my life 6 years ago. And it's that hope. And it's not just my individual version of it, which I've just talked about. It's all of you. And it starts from this place of safety, right? That this is the place, this is the arena where we're safe, where we can share, where we can talk about things, where we can listen to each other. And through that, we all figure out what our hope is, what our individual hope is. And all I have to say is, almost a year after coming back after a long hiatus where my hope was just shattered and gone, I am so incredibly grateful to have that back, and I want to keep it going. As Hank alluded to in the video that I referenced earlier, and I also believe this, I think hope is an absolutely critical part to overcoming a lot of the things that suck in this world. And I think that we have the ability, each and every one of us, to contribute positively to that. However we go about doing it, whatever medium it exists in, that's what I want us to be about here in this little corner of the internet. I want us to be about that. Even on days like today where a really long year has been weighing on me personally. In fact, I would say especially on these days, because it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to feel a little bit weak from time to time, and acknowledging that and owning that is actually strength. I wear my heart on my sleeve. That's where it lives. It doesn't live anywhere else, and it's never going to live anywhere else. That's where my hope begins. And I think, in fact, I know that we're going to be okay. And I say that, I speak that, and I actually mean it. Cool. I think that's all I have to say. I do not know if any of that made sense. Please feel free to comment thoughts, questions, concerns, anything down below. I love reading your stories so much. Understanding y'all's hope helps me clarify my own. And so this is absolutely a mutual conversation that we have here, and it makes me feel very happy. I want to have a special thank you, shout out to everyone who is supporting me on Patreon over there. I was able to buy groceries this week because of Patreon, so thank you. Thank you very much for that. If you want to know how to support this channel, you want to check out some of the bonus content that exists over there, it's one of the first links in the description. I would really appreciate it if you checked it out. And yeah, that's all I got on that. Thank you for listening. I love you a bunch. Somewhere on the screen here, you can click to watch some more of my face if you're inclined. But I'm going to go. Cool. Bye.